How's it going, world? JGamer06 back with another video. Today we're playing CK3 once again. This is going to be the last CK3 episode for the Paradox Mega campaign. And while I'm still over 100 years away from 1444, the game tends to get a bit laggy, and as said in the previous episode, I'm getting a bit bored, as well as I've already conquered all the land that I plan to conquer in this. So in this episode we're mainly just going to be focusing on developing the Canary Islands down south, as well as Iceland up north, since in EU4, especially early on, those are going to be quite useful in my plans. My plans being to try to quickly rush to the New World to start colonizing over there and such. Well, generally I'll show off what the world currently looks like. The main areas of note that are probably going to matter to me at least are going to be Iberia down here, the Italian Peninsula, the Holy Roman Empire / Germany, and potentially Scandinavia, or Fenno-Scandia, pretty sure it's called, like Scandinavia plus Finland. That isn't really a Finland at this point. Yeah, let's see what happens. And at the end of the episode I'll probably show off the world map. We'll focus on this for now. Feel free to let me know down below if you think I should have the sound on for the series next time. And 2-ish years in game we'll finally have gotten the Kingdom of Burgundy under the Empire title properly. I do believe that another crusade should be happening soon-ish. So that'll be interesting to see. I'll try to make my way back towards the homelands around Iceland, and that's the game gets less laggy. People I put in charge of Iceland have done decently well, I believe, in developing the land and such. But unfortunately I'm unable to develop their lands for them. Alright, well, yeah. So this lady is ahead of it, but it seems that for whatever reason the Norse culture is still stuck in the high medieval. Okay, well it seems they've reached late medieval, but they haven't really done anything with it. That's the part of the main reason why I'm want to develop Iceland and Canary Islands a lot, is because I believe that developing those lands will make it so you can fit more troops on them. Well, you will have the troops that you have on there be more supplies than that. So yeah, well, the lands I currently control in Europe is probably what I'll really only conquer on the mainland. And depending on what happens in Iberia, I might end up like taking Gibraltar or something, and out east I might end up taking, for instance, like Crete here, Cyprus there, depending who and what happens over here in the east. At the very least, in Africa there are a few different plans I have. Yeah, this guy can keep his title. I don't really care for it. Alright. Something else is I'll probably try to keep my alliance with Portugal going for as long as possible. And with Galicia, alright, yeah, we'll get the alliance there. I did create them, so it does make sense to try to do what I can to keep them around. So, who is this guy? Oh, he's gonna lose his title soon, so no. guess. Alright, let's get the Final Dynasty thing. I guess we'll go with that. And the French Regency, which is good. Okay. That's an interesting nickname. I've only took out 3 people, so pretty sure previous emperors have done worse. Alright. And I guess we'll try to, or just click Aragon even though it won't really change much. Yeah, I guess I'll convert. Now go Barat up here. Brabant. Alright. Okay. There's the awesome rough plans I have for at least North Africa. What I'll do probably later U4 maybe would be to take some land up here in the like Tunis area, as well as potentially over here in Egypt. Okay, interesting. Alright. I'm not sure whether or not Epirus will actually be a problem, or not Epirus, Hellas, because they are decent sized and they do bother me, but at the same time they are also spread out quite thin, and in the north they border the Holy Roman Empire, to the east here and west here they border Carpathia, basically Hungary. Down here they, in the north down here they border Thessalonica, and they have this here, so it's hard to say, and unfortunately it seems these two are both evenly matched. Well, here's hoping at some point in EU4 one of them reforms the Byzantine Empire. That'd be interesting to see what happens with Khazaria over there. Let's see, alright, yes, I'll go with that. Let's see what the unhandled situation is. Good Dr. William, my serene professional physician. William is a true healer, always ready with some suitable remedy or poultice at the first memories of a courtier's malady. His talents seem almost wasted, stretched as he is treating the demanding denizens of the entire Andean court. I guess my air. Alright, they're currently 13:33, so I'll stop playing from here, but before I end the episode I'll show off the rest of the map and stuff. So yeah, pretty much majority of the North Sea around here is controlled by, maybe some parts controlled by Holy Roman Empire, Sweden and Norway, and seems Sweden has come back, which interesting. And it seems that yeah. I'd say it's quite contested on whether assuming if Scandinavia forms, whether it be Sweden, Norway or this army. And down here we have the Holy Roman Empire and Westphalia, Lithuania, Estonia. Well, this region here seems to be quite a mess. Oh, at least out this way is sort of more settled. Over here it is a bit more messy as well, with the Chagatai, as well as like the Borgian up here being seen like big players. Black Horde, Bengal, Pagan, and Orissa down here seem to be alright, doing decent. Or Geraret is doing very well. He's hoping they don't do so well in EU4. Because they're already doing quite well up here. Thessalonica and Nicaea here competing from Byzantium, it seems. The Fertile Crescent and the Arabian Peninsula, bit of a mess. So is Iran. Down in Africa things are somewhat sorted but also decently messy, as well as over here, but a bit some major powers somewhat have started to form. And back here in Iberia we have seems Castile took out the nation, or took out the Duchy of Toledo, and now fighting a war against these people for that county there, and unfortunately for them losing. And we have ally Portugal there, Galicia up here, Leon there, and southern Iberia here controlled by Tourette. Over the Italian Peninsula, the main powers being Italy, the Holy Roman Empire, Hellas, and myself. Venice, Italy, Venice and the Pope here doing quite well, but Tivoli here doing not very well. Have numerous Greek states surrounding Hungary here, so judging by their size, I think they'll be doing fine. Religion-wise, Western and Central Europe dominated heavily by Catholics, but Eastern Europe and half the Balkans is Orthodox, with the Muslims having pretty much taken over all of Central and East, all of Central Asia and this, as well as the Indian subcontinent, and so having a massive hold down in the Middle East, as well as Southwest Africa over here. And for the Coptics have made a giant foothold, as well as Catholicism in Northern Africa and a decent part of the Middle East. And here's the culture map mode. So you can see here's Angevin. See, Russians doing quite well. And finally the development, so yeah, London is doing very well, so is Prague, Rome, and Constantinople, but not usually does. India is doing quite well in that. So yeah, well, with that I'll be ending this episode here, so thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.